Hey there, in this video we're going to talk through custom locations and how they are used in ConnectSX Beacon. So first, log into your Beacon account and you'll notice that the location section is here under the movements header. You may remember that most everything inventory is governed by this concept of custody in Beacon. So who is accountable for that inventory, who has it in their possession? This is kind of what we mean by custody. However, we do still allow you to manage locations, geographic locations, that you can set up on a custom basis. Every piece of inventory in your account must have custody at all times. However, locations are not required. So inventory will always have a custody, even if it's in the organization's custody, but then it can also have a location. So inventory that's in the same custody may have different locations. Maybe they're in different warehouse locations. Maybe they're in someone's garage versus the trunk of their car. These are the types of things you can set up with custom locations. So here you'll see all the locations that we have already and the amount of inventory stored at each one. You'll also note here that each location has its own Google geographic location that enables us to actually view where things are geographically and zoom in on each location to drill down and see inventory kind of in this cool map display. However, let's go through how we actually use locations. So first, let's create one by clicking New Location in the upper right corner. Then enter a location using the Google search here. And once you've done that, click Create to create your custom location. There it is. Now it's been created. You can see that if we want to, we are allowed to deactivate it, but setting it up is pretty easy. After you've created your custom location, the next step is to assign it to your users. So head over to your users section, and you're going to want to do this for every user who may use this location. So think hard about any user that may need it, because then you're going to go into their user account and scroll down to the assignment section. Then you're going to change the drop-down menu to location, and we're essentially going to assign the location to them so that they can use it. This is giving them permission to interact with it. And then while you're here, make sure that you've also selected any other locations that they're going to use and any other directory assignments, because this is a really critical space to make sure that your users have the appropriate permissions that they need. Once you've done that, we can start looking at how to use locations. So now, essentially what we would start doing is adding this location to inventory that's being stored there. So there are a couple ways you can do this. First, you can go into a piece of inventory's detail screen, open up the additional information section, and you can designate the location right there. You can imagine, though, that this would get a little cumbersome having to put this in for every piece of inventory that you have individually. So, you might be looking for ways to make this a little more efficient. And there are two ways I can recommend doing that. First is utilizing containers. So if you set a location on a container, it will propagate that location to all of the inventory inside the container. So set the location in the container detail screen, just like that, hit save. And then if you scroll down and check out some of the devices held inside, there we go. The devices held within the container also have that location. So that's a useful way to impact a lot of inventory with only one action when you're changing locations. The other way I would do this is when you're transferring inventory. So I'm going to quickly set up a transfer. I'm going to kind of fast forward here. So what you missed was me setting up a transfer real quick and selecting some inventory. Now we're in this detail screen here where we are designating some of the shipment details for this transfer. And you can see there's this option to reset location. Adding a location here means that all of the inventory on this transfer will also receive this location. So it's a great way of impacting a lot of inventory at once. So even if you're transferring 20 devices, 100 devices, they'd all get the location assigned to them. So if you're doing a large transfer, it's a great way to also update the location at the same time. So please tune in to our other videos on how to manage your inventory to learn more.